Well, I was, at the time I was down there in eastern Kansas working for a farmer down there, and two buddies in Alton there, they said they was going to enlist in the Navy. What happened, they got their letters. I mean, they knew about the letters that was going to be drafted, you know, at that time. So said, you want to go? And I said, sure. And I'd quit work and drove up there in Salina, Kansas there, and go in there in a Navy office and enlisted. Then we went to Kansas City, got our medical treatment inspection, and got on a train, went to San Diego. Rode the train all the way out to San Diego. Basic training out there. From there, after basic training, then I got sent to a ship up to Port Hueneme, and that's the town north of Los Angeles up there. And I was on one of these ships that sit at the dock most of the time, where you go out 7 miles out of limits, you know, so we can get cigarettes and everything else, you know, cheaper that way. And it was more than this. But then I've been on that thing about 3 months, and they was wanting volunteers to go on the aircraft, USS Antietam. And they going to the East Coast, and I said, well, I never been on the East Coast. I'm going to volunteer, and I did. And there was, I think there was a dozen of us or more, and they flew us up to San Francisco, where we got the ship. And then after shaking it down and everything, we headed for East Coast of Korea. we been over there and spent 6 months over there, and our home port was in Japan. We go back there, you know, about every month or so, or when you come back. Anyway, we got back here in the States and took the gun turrets off up there in the front bow. They took them off because we were going to go through the Panama Canal. We just going to take that carrier through there and had to take them off. And we finally got the East Coast back there, and got to see a little bit of New York, wandering around. And we spent the night one night in the USO, and they gave us a ticket to go out and see the Yankees play baseball, and I was just about as interested as I was going out there and cutting the weeds and stuff in our cornfields. You know, I mean, baseball didn't interest me all that much, you know, but it was nice to see all that. And then we had to pack up bags, and there was another carrier sitting out there next to Antietam, and we had to swap ships and headed back, went to the coast, took that ship to Seattle, Washington, going to dry dock, and they were going to put a slanted deck on it. So, and the Yorktown was sitting up there, it's coming out of up there, and so we transported over that, and then had that shakedown cruise and loaded it up and then headed for Korea on that again, another trip over there. And we got usually you had to take a little ship. We'd go down in Hong Kong, we'd go down there and have a week's liberty, and, you know, wander around and stuff, and then we go back up to Korea. And I was deck division at first, and no, that was the Antietam when I was on deck. I was deck division, and it snowed up there. We had to go up there and sweep off the landing strip, I mean, the top of the flight deck and carrier and everything, and then so they could fly off and things. And I was on that one. They had a plane missed the cable and everything and crashed into the ones that up there been loaded up. A few setting up their radio, and a few other people got killed on that and stuff. I sure hated to see that, but that was something we put up with. And then we came back to. On our way back, we stopped at Hawaii, and we picked up a crew that had a outfit about like you got here. You know, they'd making a movie of what we did on the board the carrier. And at that time, I was in the supply division, and while they were shooting, making their pictures on there, I was working in what we called a pogey bait shop, you know, where sailor know what it was. It was, you know, had ice cream, made ice cream and stuff like that. Well, that's what I did. I made ice cream, and of course, I don't know. I guess it won't make a difference if they hear. But I went down to the cooks and got acquainted with them, and I got some gallon of strawberries, and I make an ice cream. I'd add a little more water and stuff, and mix that up, and I'd make 2.5 gallons of ice cream, strawberry ice cream, and I give it to the cooks, one of them, and I gave another one down to the medical decks down there. So I had it pretty good, made out pretty good there.